Hi, just ran out of time on the last video with ADO. There's a few little things I was going to put in there, so I'll just do them now. We're still on the weekly chart, and as I was saying that this was our conservative, basically breakout from the bull flag, okay, and it went up to our 12.5 odd cents where we had our fib projection at just shy of 13. The other thing to note is this range here that it's done in the past, okay, with that big week up in there. If it did repeat that range, our 161 targets up here are very close. So something else to bear in mind there. Actually, it probably, if we draw it from the bottom of the range peak and to the top of the range, it'd probably go pretty close, I'd say. So if that range completes, it'd fit in nicely with the fibs as well. So I'd sort of bear that in mind if I was thinking about something like that. Yeah, pretty close. So that range up there, which is just shy of 16.5, okay, could be repeated. And like I was saying, it has done a golden cross down here. So that could be the thing under it that gives it a big scoop. Again, just to go past the weekly indicators are all pointing to the up, okay? And that's a definite buy signal in there on the weekly short entries. So short entries for a long, okay? In the past, it's run up to 75. We have seen stocks do 90s recently, and then they're overbought. You would be thinking that with this amount to move here, it could quite easily cover the amount that we were talking in the ranges, and definitely the bull flag breakout, which would put us above that 10.5. Which seems to be the critical mass on this one. I'll just rescale this, not like that. I'll rescale it like rescale. Okay, so yeah, back to the daily chart. That was the bottom of our bull flag. That was the top. That was the breakout point. That there, wrong one. The yellow one is what we wanted. That was that there. And you can see these MAs here are going to turn up and cross through these here. And last time that happened was back down here, and that gave it the really good little scoop that made the flagpole. So that's a range in there, which is the same range here as the yellow. You could probably look at and think that it could do again, and it could do it very similar to how it's done it here, or how it did it in the past with just a whopping great big run up. Go away, damn thing. Here, that was basically a 2-day thing. So it could do the 2-day thing, or it could take a couple of weeks. A couple of weeks is probably nicer for the chart, or But what I've seen with these bull flags, they hit their targets pretty well, and they do them very quickly. We had one on BLR the other day where we picked up bull flag break around about 6.6, and then 8.8 was the target, and it did it plus some. Okay, so yeah, no, interesting point, but that's it on ADO, but it does look very bullish. Just having a look at RHM, which is Richmond Mining. Again, this is basically all the data I've got on it going back to 2008. Certainly hasn't done anybody any harm if they'd sort of bought and held this for the last couple of years anyway. What I've done is I've just taken and done a reverse fib off our little high in here, and that put up some levels of where to look to that it'd go to. Next level being in here at the 161, and then here at the 261.8. Okay, was a level suggested. It has been through that. I've also added a standard error, not band, channel, okay, in. This one's a blue one, blue for up and red for down. Basically, it supports along the bottom quite well standard errors. They can bleed through the top. Looking at the moving averages here, the 200 sitting here at 32 cents, basically, has been supporting the stock along the way, that point and this point here. So one would be thinking that's probably your bottom if you're going to go looking for one. The 30-day, as it crossed down through the blue here in the past and got it to do this bit of a drop down, one would be thinking if our 7, which is, I'll just zoom into it a little bit more, which is trying to flatten out here along with our red and our little standard error band, but they haven't done so. We've had all these nice little candle bottoms in here. So if that was to break, I'd be suggesting it's probably going to visit the 32 cents, and that would also be that 38.2% fib. So yeah, with just these over here now, these two would really need to get up and have a day up, okay, and come back up and go back up through these and push it back up, okay, is what I tend to be thinking about there. It'd just be interesting. I'll just have a look and just see if we can find the next fib up on the projection is up here at 62 cents. Okay, so something to look forward to, and that's your 423%, so it's quite a decent one. Also, just looking here to see if we can see any other little things might help. We'll just have a look at the indicators anyway. And indicators, MACD is still, this is a zero lag too, so it doesn't lag at all, is still trying to go up, even though it's had that little flat spot. And our SCOTH in here is definitely looking at the overside level of things, and been trying to throw some little buy signals in here, and then a bit of sideways movement on the DEMA, but it's playing the DEMA pretty much right along the tops here at the 70s, and it seems to be liking this as a bottom here along these levels there. So yeah, it may just come off a little bit. Let's just quickly have a look at the weekly indicators and see what they're saying. Yeah, weekly indicators are still on the way down here at the moment. But what we find on our weekly indicators is that it likes hanging around this level. So again, still a little bit to come off, okay. So it probably wouldn't be far away from a turn, and it's turning pretty much close all the time to the 54, so that's sort of telling me that this is still, you know, reasonably, would be reasonably bullish on it. Sort of a stock. It's got a nice little uptrend. The volumes are also a little bit down here. These two still want to come off a smidgen, so it looks like it might want to do a little off. Having a look at the candles on the weekly, whether this is an Adam and Eve as well, weekly or a little weekly double top. We had the perfect opportunity, or it had the perfect opportunity to go up here. The 30 period has been the one that it's been running along, okay, and it's only bled through it a little bit, and we're not far away from the bottom of this standard error channel either, so I'd think anything around that bottom there, that 32, and by the look at the weekly indicators and the daily indicators, wouldn't take much to make them turn around and push back up. So I think that's probably your low that you're looking for. Is what I tend to be thinking on this stock here. As far as, let's have a quick look at ranges. It's done. Okay, it likes, see what it likes. Just make it a bit thicker so you can see it on the telly. Okay. repeated it with some, okay, and basically repeated it spot on. So it's starting to like that range. So if we were to take a range from our 32 for an up, you'd probably be looking up into this area around the 55, which is interesting actually, because what I'll do here is just by eye, I would imagine if I put a fib projection from that rally point up to give us some levels. Yeah, we're getting up there, towards it. So even from this point here, okay. It wants to go more. And it's up close to that level there, is what you'd tend to be thinking if it gets back up through these. Is why I'd be thinking with fib projections. I'd like to see it line up a little bit better than what it has, but I'd be thinking that 32 is probably the bottom. If it does, it's probably just going to be a bit of a bleed through, like it. I'll just get rid of that bleed through, like it did here on a weekly chart before. Had a little bit of bleed through and then hop on its own merry little way again. But yeah, the indicators on the weekly sort of looking a bit oversold, and they can come off a smidgen more. Same on the daily, and then you should probably turn and go. That's about me from Richmond, but definitely an opposite type of trend to that first stock, the second stock I was doing. Let's just get that back into proportion, where you can see that we had that other one with the red standard error channel coming down and just showing it was definitely still in a downtrend. Well, this one is definitely in an uptrend. Okay, so this is more the thing that I'd be looking for and trying to pick up a bottom along there somewhere. That's what I'd tend to be thinking at the moment.